सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 8th chapter, beginning from text number 7. And since there have been a very long gap, like 2 years, so I will explain the context. In the 5th chapter, the great sage Narada has approached Lord Brahma and prayed to him, glorified him because he is the father. And in the olden days, the children were very respectful to their parents. And since he was the first father, there was much more respect. And as the time passed, the respect started dwindling. So now the children say hi to father and mother. But he was saying, folding hand, and he was saying, you are so great, you are the creator and noble, knowledgeable person. I only have one pain in my heart, that you being the source of this universe, how is that you engaged in great austerities? So then Brahma starts speaking, and he spoke the whole 5th chapter, 6th chapter and 7th chapter, and explained that he is not God, but he is a devotee and has been commissioned to perform the act of creation by the Supreme Lord. So this is how the last chapter has ended. And then Lord Brahma had asked Narada to spread the glories of the Lord. He says that what I have spoken to you, this is called Bhagavatam. Idam Bhagavatam nama yanme bhagavatoditam sangroham vibhutinam tvametad viplupari. He says this is Bhagavatam, and this is called Bhagavatam because it is spoken by Bhagavan. So Lord Krishna himself spoke Bhagavatam to Lord Brahma. And now he asked Narada that you should expand this. He says this is the collection of the opulences of the Lord, and you expand. So just like when you have a trunk, when you travel, you have a suitcase, you pack things. Then when you go to the room, you open, you spread it. So your toothpaste comes out, your soaps, your shampoos, and your dresses, then they are spreading all around. So he said that this is the sangraha, the collection. Now you expand so that people can see Because when everything is put in a box, you don't know what is inside. Unless of course it goes through that machine in the airport, and this person can still see what is inside. But even we don't see what is inside. So like that, he said, what I have spoken is a collection of Lord's qualities, vibhutis. He also gave a list of the various avatars, and he says, you expand it. But he said, you expand in such a way that people will become devotees, because there is nothing better than that. The best thing is to become a devotee of Krishna. So he said, Yatha haro bhagavati nirnam bhaktir bhavishyati sarvatmani akhiladhare iti sankalpa varne. Says, of course, it is not up to you whether somebody becomes a devotee or not, but at least with this intention you should describe that people will become devotees, because it's not easy for people to become devotees. You can become so many things, but becoming devotee is very rare. This is of course one of the quality of pure devotion. Rupa Goswami has explained that it is very rare. So then in the 8th chapter, King Parikshit, who was listening to this from Sri Sukadeva Goswami, he started asking questions. And this 8th chapter is nothing but full of questions. The whole chapter is just questions after questions after questions. He asked so many questions, like one after another. And then Sukadeva Goswami starts answering later on. So this verse number 7, this actually begins also with the question. The previous verses up till now were more like glorification of what Brahma spoke to Narada, and he says that now what did Narada do? I want to know how did he expand this knowledge. And then in the last verse he says, Dhaut Atma Purusha Krishna Padmoolam Namunchati Muktah Sarva Parikleshaha Pantha Svashranam Yatha. Says a person who has pure heart, if he attains to the feet of the Lord, then he will never leave them. Says why? Because Muktah Sarva Pariklesha, he becomes free from all disturbances. In this material world we are always having disturbance. Everywhere there is disturbance. Go anywhere, some physical disturbance, mental disturbance, something, economic disturbance now all over the world. Everybody is facing economic disturbance. Some people are losing job, some people are losing their stocks. Many people lost their money, they are crying, they are losing their houses. So various types of problems. But if you come to Krishna's lotus feet, then he says Mukta Sarva Pariklesha, all types of kleshas, disturbances, problems, miseries, they come to an end once for all. So then who likes to leave that? So therefore there is no question of any fall down from Krishna Loka. So he very clearly says Dhaut Atma Purusha, because his heart has become clean, Dhauta. Like this, we wear, this is called dhoti. Why it is called dhoti? Because every day you wash it. That's why it is called dhoti. So he says Dhaut Atma. If you wear jeans, then you wash them once in 6 months. But dhoti is called dhoti because every time you take bath in India, then you wash it and put the next one, and then you wash it every time you take bath. You wash. That's the reason it is called dhoti. So it's called Dhaut Atma, means the mind is completely clean, brainwashed. Absolutely. Only bhakti remains. So he says such a person then does not leave for anywhere else, because he knows that wherever else he will go there is problem. He says Panthaha Swasharanam Yatha. So just like a person who is traveling and when he reaches home then he feels relaxed. No matter wherever you go, but you feel comfortable when you come back to your house. So like that. And now he starts asking the various questions. Says Yadadhatu mato brahman deharambhosya dhatubihi yadrichaya hetuna va bhavanto janate yatha. So he is asking a very interesting question, philosophical question. He says that this soul, Atma, is adhatumat. It is not made of any dhatus, any material elements. And body is made of material elements, dhatu. So he says, how is this that these two things come in contact and become as if they are one? One of them has nothing to do with the other. So the adhatu mato brahman deharambho asya dhatubi. Why that body is given to the soul? Because the body does not function without soul. So he says, yadrichya, does it happen by the will of the Lord? Is it that God desires it? That soul should have a body and have little fun in this material world? Hetunava, or there is some other reason behind it? There is some karma or some other force? Bhavanto janate yatha. He says, you know it. So please tell me what is the reason for this. Why do we take birth? What was the need? Because people ask, why are we here? Why did we take birth? Did Krishna throw us down from the spiritual sky? Or did we make a choice ourselves? We looked towards Maya and we were fascinated by Maya? Or is it that Maya pulled us out? Come here, have a body, you bodiless soul, what are you doing? So he's asking this. So there is commentary by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that's what we were reading. So it says, Evam swabhimatayaha shuddhayaha bhaktehe prathmang bhute Krishna katha shravane औत्सुक्यम आविष्कृत्य निर्गुणायाः सगुणायाः च भक्तेर यावत्सु अर्थेषु व्याप्तिः संभवति तावतोपि अर्थान् तत्तद् भक्ति अधिकारिणा जिज्ञासिता अर्थसिद्ध्यर्थं पृच्छति यदधातु मत इत्यादिना यावत् अध्यासना. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Parikshit Maharaj, he is asking question because he is a devotee and he is interested only in devotion, and he says that the first part of bhakti has got many parts, many limbs. So the first limb of bhakti is, anybody knows what is the first limb of bhakti? It's like the first limb of yoga is yama, niyama, asana. Shravana. Yes. Hearing. Bhakti begins by hearing. It does not begin unless if you don't hear, then how do you know about bhakti? So even when you don't know about bhakti and you hear, that itself is bhakti. Not that when you hear and then you perform bhakti, but hearing itself is bhakti. It is so nice. So he says that the first anga part is Krishna Katha Shravan, hearing about Krishna Katha. So he is creating inquisitiveness, curiosity in hearing. How curiosity is created? By asking question. If you are sitting, somebody asks question, then you also become curious what he is going to answer now. Isn't it? So he is creating curiosity. And bhakti is two types, nirguna bhakti and saguna bhakti. Pure devotion and mixed devotion. So he says that bhakti has got various parts, because pure bhakti has got Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaran, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, these are. And then there is a Saguna bhakti mixed with karma, jnana, etc. So people may perform sacrifices, etc. So these are all parts of bhakti. So he says he is going to ask question about everything. Saguna bhakti, nirguna bhakti, not leaving anything. Whatever he is going to ask, it will cover all the questions. Tavatopi arthan tat bhakti adhikarana jigyasitarth siddhyartham. Because there are various types of devotees. Everybody is not interested only in nirguna or pure devotion. There are also people interested in mixed devotion. So he is also asking for their sake. And he starts asking in this, and he will ask till the end of this chapter. Goes up to verse number 26, and then Sut Goswami speaks 3 verses. So basically this is the chapter of questions. Asking questions is also sign of intelligence. Everybody cannot ask questions, and then to ask intelligent questions, to raise good questions, that is a sign of intelligence. Evam cha yatra yatra bhakter gandho api sambhavati tatra tatra niraparadhataya eva sthatavyam. So he says that wherever bhakti is possible, even if there is a little fragrance of devotion in some action, some characteristics, some story, he says one should take interest in that. One should not become disinterested in it. Why? He says Srimatya Bhakti Devya Aprasada iti prasadya. He says otherwise Srimati Bhakti Devi can become unhappy, that this person is disrespecting him. So he is informing this. Prasadya means to tell us this, because sometimes people say that I don't want to read Bhagavad Gita, I only want to read 10th canto of Bhagavatam. And in the 10th canto also I only want to read those chapters of Raslila and nothing else. Everything else they think that it is not for them. So, but he says that tatra yatra yatra bhakter gandhopi, wherever there is any contact, any touch of devotion, he says he wants to hear that. Tatra tatra niraparadhataya eva sthatavyam. He says that you should stand there without committing offense. Anyatha Srimatya Bhakti Devya Aprasada. Otherwise Bhakti Devi is not pleased. So with this in mind and informing this to others, yatra yatra bhakter भक्तेर अभ्युदयार्थम शुद्ध भक्तेरपि स्वाभिमत मधुर श्रवण कीर्तनादिषु लब्धनिष्ठैरपि तानि तानि भक्तेर उदाहरणानि प्रत्युदाहरणानि च जिज्ञासयामि. So for the purpose of manifestation of bhakti, he says that even these activities which are likable, like hearing sweet kirtan, those people who have great faith in pure devotion, he says they should also know these topics. They should not disregard these topics. There are various examples of devotion and also examples which are not devotion. So even those people who are interested in pure devotion should take interest in hearing topics related with devotion, even if it is mixed, so that we have an idea what is mixed devotion. Otherwise we may be engaged in mixed devotion thinking this is pure devotion. So for that reason he says that jigyasiniami iti abhimanyate. He is indicating this, that even these topics should not be avoided or thought of as unimportant. Adhatu mato dhatavo bhutani तत्संबंध शून्यस्य अस्य जीवस्य धातुभिर देहारंभे इति यत् एतद् यथा निर्निमित्तमेव केनापि हेतुना वा भवन्तो यथा जानते तथा कथयन्ते. Says that soul is completely devoid of any material elements. There is no contact of any matter. So why is that the jiva gets a material body? Does it have a cause, or is it causeless? So this must be understood. So there are activities which happen because of cause. There are also activities which happen without cause. You know that beyond the material world there is a causal ocean, right? Where one big form of Vishnu is lying. So why this is called causal ocean? Because everything which happens this side of this ocean has a cause, and everything which is beyond that side of the ocean is causeless. So that is the boundary of cause and effect. So he says that is this relationship of the soul and body, is it due to some cause or it has no cause? What is the reason? So he says that तत्वतो अन्ये एतन् न जानन्ति ते कथं मया प्रष्टव्या iti bhava. Says that other people they do not know, so therefore I am asking this to you. Please answer this. So this is the first question he is asking. And then next question he asks, आसीद यदुदरात् पद्म लोक संस्थान लक्षणम यावान अवम अयम वै पुरुष इयत्ताव्यवहि पृथक् तावानसौ इति प्रोक्तः संस्थाव्यवानिव अजः सृजति भूतानि भूतात्मा यदनुग्रहात् ददृशे येन तद्रूपं नाभि पद्म समुद्भवः. Says that previously it was described that there was a lotus flower which sprouted from the navel of the Lord, and this was the place for the planetary system, and it was said that the whole universe is existing in this lotus stem, and the various bodily limbs of the Lord they are existing in it. So he is asking that just as we have our physical body and we have limbs in it, avayavas, hands, feet, so does Lord also has parts like this, or is it just this universe we are seeing that itself is the Lord? Is it Lord limited to this material world? Because if you remember earlier in third and fourth chapter, there was second chapter also, there was a description of the universal form of the Lord. So is Lord limited to that, or he is beyond that? So there are different theories even in the Western philosophers. They say that Lord is everything, right? You might have heard this, that Lord is everything. So if Lord is everything, then he is not beyond this everything. So here also it was described that this whole universe is the Lord, but that's all he is, or he is beyond also. And next question could be that Ajasristi Bhutani Bhutatmaya Dhanugrahat, that Lord Brahma, he created the various living beings by the grace of the Lord. And he saw the form of the Lord, Dadrisha Yena Tadrupam Nabhi Padma Samudbhava. So was it this form or it was some other form? So first is that does he have limbs like us? Because in Bible also it is said that God created human beings in his own image. And now there was a news that these Darwin disciples, they are saying that human body is not going to evolve anymore. This is the end of evolution. Because we have been evolving from the monkeys, and with great struggle monkey became man. Now they are saying that because if evolution is going on, then man is also going to evolve further, right? Why should it stop here? There is no reason. But now they are saying that there is no more evolution.
How is Gola? How is Gola?
That I didn't know. This was just they have done research. I don't know why it is over. But of course, in the Upanishads there is a statement, Nahi manushyat param kinchit. There is nothing higher than human body.